Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the National Volleyball Centre here in Kettering. This inaugural Five Nations competition and our third game of the day here on court number one. My name's Luke Wiltshire and I'll be your lead commentator today for this game versus England versus Scotland, and I'm joined alongside by Jess Smith. Jess, what are your thoughts about this game? What are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to seeing some really high-level volleyball. We've seen both of these teams performing quite well so far in this tournament. Both squads have already qualified for tomorrow's gold medal match, so we'll see them again on court one tomorrow. What I am interested to see is how much emphasis are each of these teams going to put on this match versus the gold medal match tomorrow. Both squads have quite a lot of depth, so they have the opportunity to rest some players or try some new things out, because there's no risk in losing this match. So curious about what the coaching approach for each squad is going to look like.
Yeah, good point, Jess. I think tournament volleyball like this means that it's a bit like a game of poker, right? Do they want to show their hand too early? Are they going to show Scotland, or is Scotland going to show England what they can do? Are they going to maybe change some people around and put people in different positions just to test and stretch each other's coaching abilities? Or does pride get in the way? This is a big game. England-Scotland is a big rivalry in every sport. So I'm sure that we'll probably see both coaches starting with a strong squad, strong starting six, and then they'll start making changes, I guess, as the game goes on. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the teams line up at the start, which we'll soon get as the teams now just practice some serves. Serving in the men's game, Jess, what are the players to look out for, do you think, in this match?
Ooh, tough to say. We saw when Scotland played earlier today, they had a couple of really strong servers that kind of dominated against Ireland. However, I will just note that the Irish passing unit today wasn't at their best, so it might just be that the service pressure looks really high, but it wasn't as high as maybe what they need to put on against this England's team. And then similarly for England, there's a number of really good servers. Nathan Fullerton has been particularly good this tournament. He has both a float and a quite strong topspin serve that he can put in. And Sam Peters as well has been quite strong from the baseline. So plenty of things that could happen. And then it's just a question of who's feeling it tonight and who isn't.
We also looked at the Scottish team, and interesting to see that they've got three setters in their roster. We weren't sure if Ewan Fraser, who some of you may know from the Essex Rebels team, last season he was their main setter. This year he's been hitting through opposite as well. So maybe in this match we might see him do a bit of both. Really, really great as a coach to have a setter that can also swing, because that means you can bring on a backcourt setting substitution, keep him front court. Just another weapon in your arsenal. So interesting to see how these teams are both going to line up.
Yep, and it looks like we have just received the starting lineups, so we can give you a little preview of that in just a moment's time.
So we are welcoming the players onto court here before they stand and sing their national anthem as they turn to the flag, turn to us now to sing the national anthem. It's like Noah. As we applaud the Scottish national anthem, next will be the national anthem of England. So the players now will shake hands before we get this game underway.
Yeah, it looks like both teams have put themselves out with a full-on strong starting six plus libero. So we'll give you a preview of those lineups in just a moment's time.
Yeah, as Jess said, looking from our notes, it looks like both coaches have gone aggressive in the lineups to start with, which is what I sort of expected in this game because it's going to be a tight, contested match. Just introducing the referees now for this game.
Yeah, so for first referee, we have Giordano dos Santos, and second referee, we have Anna Jasowska.
And great to see referees from all of the nations participating in this event. So here we are. Start with number 1, Ewan Ramsey. Number 5, David Mexon. Number 6, Jovas Ioannis. Number 9, Ewan Fraser. Number 13, Cameron Hook. And number 14, Mark Cathro.
They'll have Darling as their starting libero. Interesting to see Hook on the court this time. He was rested this morning, so he should be fresh.
As the England players are now going to get announced to the crowd here at the National Volleyball Centre. So number 8 is Ephraim Mills. Number 10, Ben Lucas. Number 13, Sam Peters. Number 16, Noah Sykes. Number 17, Ryan Poole. And number 18, Nathan Fullerton. Starting with libero Chestercell, number 3. Great to see so many players that we recognise from the Dynamic Super League, Men's Super League, represented here for the England men's team.
Yeah.
Players from Essex, Nottingham, Mallory, Newcastle Knights.
As well as a couple of players that are playing in other professional leagues elsewhere in Europe.
Yes.
And just to be fair, because I've mentioned that Hook had been rested this morning and he's playing now, similarly for England, they rested Fullerton this morning. So he is also, should be pretty fresh.
Great to see the depth that the England men's squad have got in their squad now, you know, with the team also competing at the moment in the Novotel Cup. So interesting to see the team that has been selected for this competition at Five Nations, because the likes of Fullerton's here and Ben Lucas, who, you know, and Simon Loftus choosing to be here with the team. So obviously putting a lot of importance on this competition.
Yeah. funny just note, Alex Chenery, who was my co-commentator last night when we were watching the men's England first matches against Ireland, Coach Simon Loftus had been wearing his gold shoes last night. He's not currently wearing his gold shoes. That might just be a little bit of superstition, though, more than anything else. But I am very much expecting this to be a very tight contest between these two squads.
Yeah.
Both squads have looked in excellent form so far this weekend. So really excited to watch this one with you.
It's great to see such a packed National Volleyball Centre here in Kettering. There's not an empty seat down here on court 1. So this is going to be a good game as Noah Sykes takes us for the first point to the service line. Serves deep at 5. Fraser out to the opposite player. Big swing, but good touch from Ephraim Mills. And deemed not up there by Libero Chester.
Good start for Hook, who is currently top of the scoring table in the tournament.
Hook's nice float serve, but good pass by Chester Searle. Out to Poole, who roll shots it and clips the line. Very, very difficult to execute that shot, Jess.
Yeah, very smart play there from Poole, who is also pretty high up there in the scoring charts.
Now, my prediction would be if a team gets a pass, they'll run the middle quite early on in this game. So let's see what happens. Fraser, there we are, runs the middle ball. Ephraim Mills takes a touch. Back out to Fullerton, who tips it, set her out. Libero volleys from behind the 3-metre line, and big swing by Mexon. Ryan Poole setting this time to Fullerton, whose big swing and is blocked by Mark Catho, the number 14 for Scotland. Let's watch that one back.
Yeah, massive block here. I don't know if you can see in the camera angle, but midway through that rally when Fullerton tipped that ball, Coach Loftus was very upset about that. He did not like that decision.
Scotland taking an early lead here, 2-1. Catho back to the service line. Putting pressure on Ben Lucas, who now gets the ball, swings nice and high. The referee giving it out. And the players not happy with that decision, and the referee signals that he overruled. And at his decision, he saw the ball out. So players must play to the referee.
Yeah, probably one to note at this point in time, there are no line judges at the tournament this weekend. That was a deliberate decision. And the England guys being a little bit extra emphatic about the fact that that ball was out.
Jess, I think this game could get tasty, be my prediction. So we've got Ephraim Mills back to the service line. Heavy float serve. Yep. Are they going to swing on it? So here, England will now get in a free ball. Bit of confusion about who was going to take it, but Noah Sykes back to Fullerton, who swings cross-court and hits the ball with venom.
Exactly what Coach Loftus is going to want to see out of Fullerton after he rested him this morning. That confusion between Mills and Poole. You know, ideally your libero would take that ball. Your middle is currently serving, so you've got no libero. So it makes sense for Poole to take it, I think.
Mills again with the serve, this time just clipping the net band, overpass, and Ben Lucas dispatches and kills the overpass. Don't want to give Ben Lucas a chance like that because he will put it away. That brings up 4-3 to England with Ephraim Mills still on the service line. Again, another heavy float serve. Good pass in by Fraser. Pipe ball and huge swing by Hook, again from the back row. Again, first pipe attack we've seen this game, this time from Scotland. And wouldn't be surprised if Sykes now tries to replicate it and do it back. Whatever you can do, I can do better sort of mindset.
Yes and no, because Scotland ran a really good middle ball, and then Sykes didn't follow it up with a middle of his own, so he might be trying to play his own game, although I am very much wrong in this case. That's an emphatic kill.
Big swing, big swing. The pipe ball in the men's game is just like having another front row attacker. The jumps, the ability to jump and contact the ball, you know, the set is pretty much on the net still. This time, Fullerton back to the service line. Good ball in again. Fraser choosing to go through 4. Big swing, taking on the hands of Noah Sykes, and this time successful for Ewan Ramsey.
Yeah, smart swing from Ramsey, just playing on the fact that Sykes has got his arms pushed in a little too far, so going on the outside edge of that forearm.
5-all here in this opening set. Ramsey from the service line puts Chester Searle will be disappointed with that pass. Chester's a very, very solid libero. And
Yeah,
the jump serve was right at him, so he'll brush it off and go again.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic error from him, but a good ace from Ramsey that came in.
Ben Lucas hitting the ball down the line and the opposite player choosing to gamble and try and play defense.
I think he was trying to get out of the way on that one and just didn't quite do it fast enough. You've only got a split second to decide because the men are hitting quite quickly. Ball's coming from a significant height, so smart play from Lucas.
Ben Lucas with the jump serve. Fraser out to 4, but a bit inside, but good defense by Fullerton. Sykes out to Poole, who swings heavy cross court this time, missing. And that'll be frustrating because that is one of England's strongest rotations with Ben Lucas at the service line.
Yeah, they've had a lot of really good success in that rotation in particular. Poole, not usually one to miss.
Kovas back to the service line. Good passing by Ryan Poole. Middle ball to Sam Peters, who puts the ball away. We'll watch that one back if we can. Great passing by Ryan Poole, who allows Sykes just to pop that ball up for an A quick. And Peters hitting a really nice ball back to position 1. Good pass in from Scotland. Set was a bit, yeah. Fraser putting his hand up here. He acknowledges that the set was dying inside, didn't push it wide enough.
Yeah, a bit of a setting error, I think, on the Scotland side.
It brings up 8-7 now to England in this first set as Peters goes back to the service line again. Taking out Hook. Hook. Big swing from Hook. Taking on the hands of England's block.
Great to see a setter going right back to the hitter that had a little bit of a wobble on the previous point. Fraser noting that that was probably his fault rather than Hook's, but Hook doing a great job using that block out kill.
Ewan Fraser from the service line. This time not successful, missing the baseline. As we now go back to Noah Sykes from the service line. So we've gone around one full rotation here for England.
And just as tight as we were expecting it to be. What a serve.
Fraser out to Hook, who's opposite this rotation, but great cover from Scotland. Mexon with a swing, but puts it into the net. And he'll be disappointed with himself there. Should have done better.
I think that's a time when you need your outside attacker to just put something into the court rather than going for full power.
Service error from Sykes now makes the score 9-10. So Scotland trailing by 1. Hook to the service line. Serving on Chester Searle, who takes it with his hands, and we try and run a B ball, but not successful. But Catho just reached in the block there, and he would have almost been better if he didn't block.
Yeah, almost. It's really hard as a blocker when you've got somebody coming at you and then the connection between the setter and the middle isn't there, because the middle on the other side is just trying to get any sort of all over. So having a touch on that might be worse than not.
Big serve from Ryan Poole means free ball now for England. Puts it to Ephraim Mills, who runs it in, but this time speed out to 4. And touch off the block, according to the referee. Doesn't seem to be too many complaints from Scotland, so
I think that looked like a pretty solid block touch. I think that's fair. So,
and we see the first timeout of the set called by the Scottish coach as they trail 9-12 in this opening set.
Yeah, so both teams have been really strong, like we mentioned before. Scotland here just not quite playing at the pace that they would want to. They have been dominating teams with their very fast offense. They're still pretty fast. They're just scrambling a little bit. The block of the England players is a bit bigger than what they've seen versus Ireland and Northern Ireland so far. So they just need to do a little bit of adapting to the new block that's set out in front of them.
Yeah, for me, Mexon's not in this game yet for Scotland. We haven't seen him really in offence, so I'm sure Fraser will be keen to get him going because he's a hell of a player when he gets going. So it'll be interesting to see. And obviously Mexon, Fullerton blocking out through at position 2 is a big blocking unit, so might start trying to split the game a little bit, setting opposite a bit more. Ryan Poole back from the service line, puts a huge serve in. Here we are, and there we are. Big swing from Mexon.
And yet again, that coaching IQ really comes through. So we're just going to watch this one again because this is a beautiful set, and Mexon puts it through the massive gap in that England block.
They'll probably start trying to set a B-ball to the middle and then start opening up the opposite player for Scotland. That's quite a common tactic in the men's game, as Chester Sale puts a good pass in for Nathan Fullerton to have a swing. This time missing, but the Scottish player, number 1, signalling to the ref that he did take a touch on that. So even though this game, there's a rivalry between Scotland and England, nice to see sportsmanship, and Ramsey just admitting that he took a touch on the block.
Yeah, kudos to Ramsey for admitting to that one.
Scores 12-10 to England with Ephraim Mills on the service line again. Hook not putting in a good pass in, but Mexon will have a quick roll shot. But again, he's missed the core. And at the moment, like you said, Jess, Scotland's passing slightly letting them down slightly.
Yeah, just a bit. They were really solid earlier today against Ireland, but there is going to be more service pressure from this England squad, so they just need to figure out a way to get that rhythm back. Scotland trying to run a B ball or a middle ball when Fraser was taking that in the back court zone. And interestingly, now the Scottish coach choosing to take a second timeout as they trail 10-15 in this first set. Yeah, I think this is the time when you just tell your guys, this is your moment to kind of reset yourself. Try to come back in this set, even if we can't take the set. You know, we want to get ourselves back into it, get some momentum back, take it into the second set really strong. But they do still have a chance to come back. I mean, 5 points at this point in the set is still completely achievable. So if they can just get that passing unit doing what they want it to do and running that offense at the speed that they want to, they have a great chance of getting back into the set. But right now, England are looking the more comfortable side.
Absolutely, yeah. Couldn't agree with you more, Jess, and it'll be interesting to see if they get a few more points here. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some subs from England just to bring in some new faces. Another good serve by Ephraim Mills, this time good pass by Hook. Big swing. Cross court by Ewan Ramsey. Ben Lucas not able to play defence this time. Good response from Scotland after the timeout as Mexon goes back to the service line. And he is a very, very strong server. If we can get him into rhythm, he's got the ability to take any team apart from the service line. Missing. Again, high risk, but high reward with a jump serve like that.
Yeah, a bit too much high risk at this point. Although, we did mention before, both teams have already qualified for the gold medal match, so slightly less pressure on this one. If they drop a set or if they drop the whole match, it's fine because they're still going to go on to play again tomorrow.
16-11 to England here as Fraser sets Mexon from the backcourt. This time he's blocked by Peters. And the referee signalling out. Looked very close from up here, but the referee deciding this time that the ball was out.
Yeah, I think second referee has just helped the first referee out with a bit of signaling on that one.
Fraser with a jump serve ace. Right in the seam. And we get ace for Ramsey.
Always insane when you can see somebody get an ace on a top-class libero like Chester Sale.
And another one. He's got another one here. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a timeout now from Loftus. But he's confident in his team. That's 2 aces in a row. Here we go.
So we've now had 3 timeouts at 16-14 in the first set. That's a high number of timeouts for this point.
You can show that the value the coaches are putting in this game. They don't want to lose it. And they know the first set is so important in these sorts of games. So Loftus, very, very, very experienced coach, deciding, do you know what, I can't let this go further. So let's take a timeout, disrupt the rhythm, disrupt the pattern, as the Scottish team now come back onto court. And Ramsey back to the service line. So he'll probably take a little bit off this one and try and build himself back up again, or he'll really go for it. Take a little bit off, but good serve. Passing by Poole, out to 4. Ben Lucas on a free net, and ball was put away. Let's watch that one again, because that's all from the setting here. As Noah Sykes looks to set the middle and then pushes the ball quick to 4.
This is such a smart play by the England offense, because you've got Peters pushing his way outside because Sykes is getting pushed outside as well. So that stack just gives Lucas a completely free net.
And we're going to get a free ball here. Chester Sale on it. Pushes it into Sykes, who gives the ball to Peters and is dispatched from the middle. Great swing by Sam Peters.
I suppose that's a thank you from Sykes to Peters for drawing away the block on that previous point, giving England 2 clean kills in a row.
And Peters of the University of Nottingham showing just what sort of volleyball player he is. Was Ben Lucas puts another really good serve out, and that didn't look a clean contact from Fraser, and it looks like Fraser's going to get substituted off here maybe. And we see our first sub. No, we're going to take off. Ewan Ramsey is going to be replaced by Jonathan Black.
So Black had a really good showing in the match against Ireland this morning. So we'll see if he can make an impact here.
Ben Lucas from the service line. Puts it onto the libero, who puts a perfect pass in. Mexham from the back row. And unable to play defence from Nathan Fullerton. Good play from Scotland.
Yeah, Fullerton not getting his hands up quite as quick as he wanted to. So catching the ball on the outside edge of his hand. But that was an excellent swing from Mexham there.
15-19. Quick attack behind from Sykes to Peters. We're going to want to watch that one again. Quick attack behind, and Peters putting the ball away to position 1. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, you mentioned at the top of the set that it'll be very important for both teams to establish their middles early, and England have been winning the middle establishment game so far.
Big swing from Fullerton cross court, and England seem to have found some rhythm in their offense here as they pull away in this set, 21-15. In the last couple of points, Jess, we've had a huge hit from Ben Lucas, a huge hit from Sam Peters, a huge hit from Nathan Fullerton.
Definitely sharing the love around the court. Really great to see.
Fraser out to 4 again, but again, this time the set was inside, and Ephraim Mills swings and gets blocked. Scrappy play, and second referee has noticed a centre line violation, player going under the net. Just a reminder that the whole foot has to go over the net for it to be a fault.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for the guys. They did a good job scrambling that ball over the net, but Scotland would have had the advantage in any case, I think.
Fraser from the service line now. Big jump serve, and again missing. Scotland have got some big jump servers in their team, but in this set they've just not arrived. As we see another substitution for Scotland, as we see number 3, Chavas. So the twin brother, or the brother, is going to take off number 14, Mark Cathray. Sykes from the service line. Good jump float serve. Back to the middle for Scotland, but this time picked up by the libero of England, Chester Sale. Nathan Fullerton with a big swing cross court again. And they are having a lot of success on this side of the court.
Yeah, great swing from Fullerton again. Scotland had made a change to their middle to try and get a little bit of a different blocking view out in front of Fullerton. But unfortunately, it didn't quite pay off.
Fraser's had to take the first ball, and Dave Mexham with a huge swing, and Ben Lucas is going to chase it down. He's done amazingly well to get that back. Free ball for Scotland now, as Fraser goes back to the hook, and Hook puts the ball away cross court, as Ephraim Mills couldn't get out and block with Ryan Poole, and that's a really good rally. Excellent defense and hustle by England.
Yeah, exactly the type of swinging pressure you need from your top scorer.
Hook from the service line, clips the net band. Ryan Poole with the swing, but this time blocked and scrabbled, and free ball to Scotland now as Hook puts the ball in. Fraser goes out to Mexon on cross court, and he's put a huge defense in as Libero Chester Searle goes flying towards the wall.
He is okay. That's good. What a swing, though. What
Really putting their
swing.
bodies on the line just to get this ball in the last two rallies, both Searle and Ben Lucas. So.
Yeah.
Bad pass from and free ball to Scotland. They've done well to get the ball back, England, but Fraser goes back to Mexon, and again, big swing from Mexon, but a bigger block from Nathan Fullerton.
You know, often you find that having your opposite in that outside position is actually not advantageous, but in that case, Fullerton against Mexon in that blocking combination, that is just incredible. And that brings up set point for England.
Set point, first set point of Ryan Poole from the service line. Just off-pace serve. Over Ewan Fraser tries to set it with one hand pokey behind. High risk and not able to do it. And that's it. England secure the first set 25-18.
Yeah, a little less tight than I was expecting for that first set, but a really great performance from both teams. I think that the Coach Loftus will be really impressed with the performance of his England squad so far, but there have been some quite bright sparks as well for Coach Alistair's Scotland side. So they'll be looking to capitalize on a couple of those things that went well for them in set number one. If they can get that passing accuracy up, because they're now dealing with the stronger service pressure from the England squad, they should be able to start running their offense in the right way. I'm not sure if there'll be any changes for Scotland because it seemed like they were a bit off rhythm. Not sure if that was because Fraser didn't play this morning. Well, he played the first set, and then they swapped out for Orr as an additional setter, and then Turnbull as well played in that setting position for Scotland this morning against Ireland. So they have plenty of options, as Luke mentioned previously. So there could be some changes coming in. I probably wouldn't expect any changes for England just yet, but we might see that if they start pulling away in set number two, like they did in set one, that we could see some changes coming in midway through that set. So we just have another minute or so before the teams rejoin the court and we start going off for set number two. Teams are just finishing up their conflabs at the moment.
Be intrigued to see just if the coach of England, Simon Loftus, makes any changes.
Yeah, I was just mentioning that. I don't think there'll be any changes just yet.
No.
But if they start to pull away at set two, I can quite easily see some changes coming in, see how things go. You know, again, there's no pressure to win this one other than bragging rights, because maybe both teams now want to win both matches against each other.
And in many sports, and volleyball's no different, it's all about momentum, right? So this is their final pool match for England and Scotland, and their next match is going to be against each other again. So if England can dominate and get a 3-0 win, that will be in the heads of the Scottish team as they go to sleep tonight and prepare for the gold medal match tomorrow. So it is a game of poker, these sorts of matches. Do you go for it wholeheartedly, or do you rest some of your players, use a bit of your depth? But it looks like both teams choosing to go back to the starting sixes that started that first set. So yeah, we're back to how we started as we look to get underway with Fraser at the service line. That's a big serve. Chester Searle puts an overpass in and put away by Cameron Hook. So much better serving there from Ewan Fraser. Maybe he prefers this end. It's weird as a volleyball player. So sometimes in these sorts of halls you do have an end which you feel more confident or comfortable at. So let's see what he can do this time as he puts another ball up. Big jump serve again. Good pass in by Poole, who now gets the ball back. But a bad set means Poking into that, and Nathan Fullerton's going to get a swing, but good defense again by Fraser. Set her out. Mexon tips the ball, and Pool's having to take it. And Fullerton again through 4, putting a huge swing in cross court. I think Nathan Fullerton really likes this rotation where he gets to swing out through 4.
He does look quite comfy from that outside position. He's certainly been effective over there on the block.
Wonder where they're going to serve here, Jess, as the England blocking unit move over to 1. That looked very close. Scotland coach saying out, England coach saying in, but referee deciding out this time.
I think I'm going to have to agree with the referee on this one. It did just look a smidge out.
Hook from the service line. Pass in from Ben Lucas. Fullerton gets the ball inside, but great defense from Hook. Ball out, so here come a free ball for England. Chester Sells right underneath it. Pop the ball, speed to 4. Ben Lucas, but a huge block from Mexon. Let's watch that one back.
Yeah, really important to get that from Scotland now, where they're establishing that block, starting to take away some of the attacking options that England are putting up, especially with Mexon being quite a lot taller than Lucas, so he's got that height advantage.
Missed disconnect, and Simon Lucas puts his hand on his face to think, what was that? There was obviously some miscommunication between setter and middle. And this is why it's always hard for national teams that don't train particularly, that much together, from different clubs, different setters, and middle setter relationship so important. Noah Sykes goes back to Fullerton with a free net, with a one-handed set. Let's see that one again. What a set there, with one hand giving Nathan Fullerton a free net.
Yeah, you can see that the Scotland team just are not expecting that at all, so no blockers get out there, and Nathan Fullerton has now scored the 2 points that England have in this set.
And England just not quite clinical enough from the service line, but again.
So they've now, the 2 points that they have scored, they've followed them both up with a service error.
Interesting.
If that keeps creeping in, that's going to cause them some significant issues in this set.
Big swing from Fullerton, but great defense off the net. Another chance for England here as Ben Lucas puts this time. Mexon unable to shut Lucas down. Ben just changing it up slightly and swinging higher, not trying to put the ball down, but taking on the hands of the blocker this time, showing that he's a very, very intelligent volleyball player. Pass in from Ramsey. Ben Lucas with a swing against 2 big blockers, but no touch this time. Mexon shakes the finger to say, not this time, my friend. And the referee deciding he wants to have a word with England captain number 17, Ryan Poole.
Really great adjustment there by Yanis Chavez, where the set was just a little too high for him, so he missed it with his right hand and just at the last moment reached and just put in a push tip with his left hand. Smart play from him. Poole just passing along the message from the first referee so that we can continue play.
Mexon at the service line again. Good, strong serve, but Poole with the pass straight into the block, but this time recycled by Scotland, who get a ball. Ryan Poole digs out to 4, Ben Lucas with a swing off the hands. Ewan Fraser back out to 4, but again it's dying inside, but this time Ewan Ramsey able to roll the ball down the line, and Scotland find themselves 7-3 up in this second set.
Yeah, really great start for the Scotland team so far. Some smart plays from the attackers on both sides on that. We saw some roll shots going in rather than just the full strength attack.
Mexon from the service line puts a big serve, but this time just missing the sideline. It's a very interesting server because he doesn't throw the ball particularly high. But when it's right, like we've seen the last couple, it's hard to pass and get your hands under the ball. So
yeah, it's almost like a hybrid toss. Like he could choose to float serve that ball, I think.
Pass in by Hook. And Ewan Fraser deciding to go over on 2. And that's the first time we've seen that from either setter in this game. Now, Jess, I'm not a gambling man, but don't be surprised if Noah Sykes tries to give it back.
Yeah, this is the time when you would do it. There's a slightly smaller blocking unit in the front court for Scotland right now, so Sykes has a better opportunity.
Sykes out to Poole with a big swing, but a bigger block there from Scotland, Yanis Shivash. Let's look at this back. That's a great block.
Great work there to close that one down for Shivas.
Ramsey back to the service line. Searle with a good pass. Going behind, but not getting a touch on the block. Peters thinks he's got a touch. The England bench think there was a touch, but the referee says no. And
really tough call.
Scotland 10-4 up now in this second set. Ramsey at the service line. Big serve right onto the libero. And Chester Searle falls over as he contacts that ball.
So we're going to have a change of libero here. It's potentially just to change up the look of the serve receive. So we've got Max Mikowski coming in, number 7 for England.
The lead scores player here. He's going to get a chance, and he puts a perfect ball in. Good job, sir. Tip from Ryan Poole. And that's a bold decision by Coach Loftus to ask him to come in. And he puts a 3-point pass in. Great job.
You can see he's getting a couple of boys from the coaching staff on the bench there.
Nice to see Chester Searle giving him a high five as well. Ball out to Hook, who tries to hit the ball down the line. And I wonder, Jess, if that's an instruction from the Scottish coaching team in the turnaround between sets, is maybe just roll the ball down to position 1 or tip it on Nathan Fullerton to try and take him out of the game a little bit more.
Yeah, I think telling them to be a little bit smarter with where they're placing the ball rather than going for power swings has been one key thing that they've done differently this set.
And a really clinical play from Scotland, running the quick ball behind off the setter. Interesting that both teams have been doing this. Scotland and England both running that quick ball behind when the passing's drifting out towards more position 4. Hits the net band, but great reactions. Ryan Poole with a roll shot, but Mexon's right there. Fraser tips the ball. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a smart play there from Hook, just taking on off of the outside arm of Sykes, which leads us to England taking their first time out, 13-6.
And they look a little bit rattled, Jess.
Yes, they do. So you mentioned about being a little bit smarter with their attacking options on the Scotland side, but I think the other thing that Scotland have done a great job of adapting to in this set is the block is a lot more solid. Yeah. They've gotten better at reading what they expect Sykes to do, where the likely attacking options are going to be, and they're starting to close that down a lot more. So England have done a great job of having a lot of block cover, but when you have a block cover ball, people are out of position because they're really close to the attacker trying to get that cover in, so then your attackers don't usually have time to get back and have a full approach, so the second swing isn't going to be quite so strong. So England need to just make a couple of tweaks to what they're doing from an attacking standpoint. Do something similar to what Scotland's doing. Don't always go for the power swing. Go for that really smart placement and try and get the ball down where there's gap in the court.
Loftus looks quite frustrated, and he will be because he knows his team can play better than this. And interesting to see what happens in the next phase of the set, because we might start seeing some subs from England. He might just decide to throw this one away. But that's a miss from the Scotland number 6. And we're back to 7-13. So England 7, Scotland 13, as Noah Sykes goes back to the service line.
Yeah, so he needs to get the serve in because they've had a couple of missed serves at critical points. And that is in, and it's a good pressured serve.
Hook taking on the hands of Fullerton. Now Fullerton with the ball, and he's just going to roll this one, but Mexon's right there. Fraser puts it to the middle and put away by Chauvas. It's So Mikhail Shovas really putting the ball away from the middle.
Again, really smart placement of where they're swinging at.
Fraser with a big serve, but Ben Lucas with a great pass. And Fullerton through 4. Blocked, but this time block out. And that was a great serve by Fraser, but Ben Lucas able to show his athleticism and put something on the ball, and what ended up being a fairly good pass from an excellent serve. So Ryan Poole at the service line now with a jump. Serve, big serve. Fraser has to set Hook from the back court. Ben Lucas just has to have a roll shot here. And Hook's going to try and tip it and take the setter out. But this time he's not able to.
You can definitely see the volleyball IQ going on. Scotland are doing a really great job of looking at where there's space on the court and trying to put the ball there. Didn't quite play off that time, but usually worth the risk.
So Ryan Poole again from the service line. Another big serve, a huge serve. And he's found some rhythm from the service line. And my bet is that we'll probably see a timeout from Scotland here.
Exactly that.
Good coaching. In coaching, we talk about protecting the lead, and 3-point lead is what you want to have in the game. Scotland find themselves with a 4-point lead here in the second set, 14-10, and they wanted to disrupt the serving rhythm of Ryan Poole.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago that Scotland had a 8-point lead.
Yeah.
So, good time to take a timeout, try and stop that momentum that England have had out of their first timeout. So both teams have now taken a timeout. This is probably more just to break the momentum and try and set Poole off of his serve. Now, that being said, Poole is a professional volleyball player. He has a lot of composure about him, and I think that they will struggle to really put him off.
Yeah, Poole's been in this situation many a time, and showing his experience here as he goes back to the service line. Has he got it in his locker to get another ace here? Another big serve. Oh, no, good pass. And Mexon's up against the big arms of Nathan Fullerton. And the set being too tight to the net means that he is not going to push that ball through Nathan Fullerton's arms. Good discipline from the blocker.
Yeah, I think Fullerton's been watching some tape of Mexon because he seems to have his number tonight.
Off-pace serve by Poole, clever, but the libero was ready for it. And Ewan Fraser and Mikhail Shovas really have a good relationship in the middle, set a middle relationship, and winning points every time he goes to him at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that when they get the opportunity. Hook back to the service line now. Good pass in. Pipe ball behind with Ryan Poole missing. Nice speed to that offense, but this time Ryan Poole just swinging a bit too aggressively and hitting out.
Yeah, just going back to that last point where Scotland had that beautiful middle attack, that slight half tempo higher on the set just gave Shovas a little bit of time to get around the block. So smart from an offensive standpoint.
That's a big block from Mexon. And the England players just stood and watched that ball as it dropped into the court. And
this is the difficulty when you're running 5 options when you've got a good pass, because you've got everybody coming in to attack, and it's hard to get somebody deep for that deep block coverage.
Misconnection between Sykes and Lucas, and Fullerton with a big block again. Scrappy play from both teams in that point, but Fullerton just again showing why he's such a good blocker and such a threat when he's front court.
Yeah, and you can see why he was rested this morning. Make sure that he had fresh legs for all of the blocking he was going to have to do against this highly aggressive Scotland squad.
Ephraim Mills with a strong float serve. Fraser flings it out to opposite, and Mexon just rolls the ball in, but setter is out. And Ben Lucas now with a big swing, but he's up against a 3-man block. And Lucas again rolls it, but Hook is all over it. Mexon with a big swing, but a huge block from Peters.
Great block from Peters there to commit to Mexon. And I must as well give a bit of kudos to Ben Lucas, who had 2 really high but really inside sets with a triple block on him, and at least hit around the block both times.
He's very, very, I know I've mentioned it earlier, but he's a very intelligent volleyball player. There's that quick ball behind again. And Fraser Chauvas is a combination. It's working extremely well. Fraser's got both Chauvas brothers in the middle, so this time Peter's putting the ball away from the middle, and it's back to 4. So Fullerton at the service line. England trailing by 4, 14-18 in the second set. Ramsey not with a good pass in, but ball up by the libero. Good job from the England libero. Free ball to Scotland though. Back to the middle, and some good defense from Fullerton, and some. This is a rally, guys. Big swing from Mexon, and this time block out.
What a rally from both sides here. Makowski having a beautiful pancake. Hope somebody's out for some breakfast. But this is a good rotation for Scotland. So they've got Sykes in the front court, and they've got Lucas in the front court. So 2 slightly smaller players. They've got good ups, but they need to try and capitalize here on the fact that their attacking options are a bit bigger. I say as Mexon serves it straight into the net.
Good job there's no video of me and Jess up here, because our reaction then on that serve, crucial time. But again, Scotland still find themselves with a good lead here in the second set. Ben Lucas can tear teams apart with his serve, so there's one, but the libero puts in a solid pass. Mexon from the back row, but it misses and nearly wipes out Simon Loftus, who's on the floor, but I think it's just dramatics. There we are.
We like a bit of dramatics, don't we?
It's a big swing. Just a reminder that Scotland have used 1 timeout, Jess, I think. So let's see if Ben Lucas from the service line again puts another big serve in, but good pass again from the libero. Big swing. Sykes picks the ball up, and Fullerton sets the ball out to Poole, who puts a huge swing through 4. He's got such impressive arm swing, Ryan Poole, that you don't know if he's going to sort of roll it. And then from nowhere, he just killed the ball cross court with a lot of power.
Yeah, that's a large amount of athleticism from him, because I don't think he had gotten fully back past the 3-meter line to take a full approach. So to be able to jump and have a swing with that much power and place it so well between the defenders in the court is an excellent bit of play. And that means that England have closed the gap. So it's now 17 chasing 19. So Scotland are still in the lead. They still have a good chance to take this set.
Lots of love for Scotland on the comments on the YouTube live stream. So thank you for tuning in wherever you are. Hope you're enjoying this live stream here at the National Volleyball Centre. Second set here in this final group stage match as England take on Scotland in what will be the gold medal match tomorrow. Ben Lucas looks to go back to the service line and puts another big serve in, but good pass in by Hook. Ball out through 4, but that is an absolute huge block. Not today.
I mean, it doesn't get much roofier than that roof. That ball was going straight back down. Excellent commit block there from Peters.
Scotland coach just sort of having a word with Ramsey to say roll it down the line or hit power cross court. So we're going to get a free ball for England, and this could be a big point for England as libero pops the ball back in. Quicker ball out to 4. Ryan Poole tips it and off the head of Chauvas, and all of a sudden we're back to 19s. 19-19, and England, just a reminder that England were trailing in this set by 8.
We're just going to have a substitution in just a moment for Scotland, but Chauvas, I think, not trusting that his teammate was going to be behind him and tried to head that ball to at least keep it in play, but unfortunately put it out of the hands of the defender.
Another big serve from Lucas, but another great pass from Scotland. Hook has to put the ball up to Ramsey, who swings nice and high, taking on the hands of Sykes and gets a net touch too. And that's what the coach was telling him to do. Take on the hands, swing nice and high. So we're getting into a crucial part of this set now as we see a substitution. Mexon's coming off, and Cole Turnbull is coming on. So Cole Turnbull was a setter. So I'm going to expect to see Ewan Fraser now being used as an opposite hitter. And that's a miss from Ramsey. Bold decision to make from the Scotland coach in a crucial part of the set. But it allows Scotland to have 3 front court hitters.
Yeah.
So
not the right time for Ramsey to be making a service error there.
Peters from the service line. Cole puts on a Fraser with his first swing, swings cross court. Ball out to 4, but that's a good block there again from Chauvas. Sykes back out to 4 again, but this time too wide, and Ryan Poole having to play it with his left arm because the set wasn't quite there. And Loftus now choosing to use a timeout. First one.
So both teams have now utilized both of their timeouts. England just trying to stop this little bit of momentum that Scotland are getting. Probably wants to talk to his team about the change in setter and opposite that's happened on the Scotland side. So now that Ewan Fraser is going to be a front court opposite, so that's going to change a little bit of what they're trying to do. But I think the setting at the minute from Sykes is just slightly unstable. So there's a lot of really good sets coming out of his hands. And then like that last point, that ball was well outside the antenna. Poole's always going to have a really hard time trying to get that across the net, especially when you've got a quite large block between Fraser and Chauvas across the net from him.
So we've got Chauvas back to the service line. Just a reminder that there's no libero on court now for Scotland, so don't be surprised if we see a tip or a ball out. But he's played some good defense, good lad. Ball out to 4 and Hook with a swing, but good defense from the England libero. Poole with a swing and put down by the Scotland block. It's a Chauvas brother again. They are having a block party out there today.
The second referee just reminding the Scotland bench to stay within the warm-up zone because they all approached the court on that one because that was such a monster block from Chauvas.
Putting in jump serving. So, bit risky at that time in the set. And that's an easy point for England. As Noah Sykes goes back to the service line, which means we've got the Nathan Fullerton front row again. So I wouldn't be surprised if Scotland try and keep it away from Fullerton. There we are. Ewan Fraser with a big swing and finds a hole in the England defence. And that brings up 23-21 to Scotland here in this second set. We've got substitution back, so making that substitution now. So Mexon coming back onto court. And it allows Scotland to have 3 front row players again. But what we said at the start, Jess, is it's great as a coach to have that as an option.
Yes, exactly.
Good defense by Fraser. So it's going to be a free ball, though, for England. Good passing by the libero. Quick pipe behind. And that is quick volleyball from the back row.
I'm actually going to circle back to something that you said earlier in the set, which is in the men's game, that pipe ball, and especially when they're running it like a big, so it's almost like a quick pipe, it can be like a front court attack. Ben Lucas just came flying up at the net to hit that ball.
And this is where Scotland found themselves under some pressure earlier on in the set with Ryan Poole at the service line. And it's at a crucial part in the second set, 23-23.
Yeah, that service error a couple of points ago has really offset Scotland and put them into a rather disadvantageous rotation.
That's in. Fraser goes to Hook. Ben Lucas with a big swing, taking on the hands, and Loftus loves it. His team have turned an 8-point deficit around and they find themselves with the first set point here in the second set. It's impressive mentality from the England team to come back from such a way behind as Ryan Poole tosses the ball, puts in a big jump serve, but this time misses it, and we are all level, 24 apiece.
So just to note, so that was a service error. We haven't had any service errors from England since those very first 2 serves that they had at the set. So not the best time to make a service error.
Overpass by Mexon gives England a chance. Fullerton is going to put a big swing on it. Fraser sticks an arm out, but not able to play defense. But Scotland will be frustrated because they had an opportunity and Mexon overpassed the free ball pretty much.
Yeah, they need to be capitalizing on those free balls. But
So
Fullerton's making some really smart decisions with where he's swinging.
set point again for England. Big clips the netband on the serve. Fraser back to Mexon. Mexon rolls it because there's no Libro, but Ephraim Mills playing some defense. Libro with a pokey. Fraser puts it back to Mexon, who puts a huge swing cross court towards Noah Sykes, who's unable to play defense on that. And we have got a set of volleyball for you guys. It's 25-25 apiece. Jess, is this a sign of what's to come tomorrow?
I really hope so, because this is the type of competition that I was expecting between these 2 teams. They both feel like they're fully warmed up and they're really in it to win it.
Sykes to Fullerton with a big swing, but a bigger block from Ewan Ramsey. And now Scotland find themselves with their first set point at 26-25. And the crowd like it. Ben Lucas with the pass. Tight, but that's a good speed on the offense. Again, good setting distribution from Sykes gives Ben Lucas a free net. And it's 26-all. Now, just a reminder that you have to win by 2 clear points in this sport. So could be 28-26 here.
We can go to 50 points. We've seen that before.
Out to Ramsey, who takes on the hands. No touch from Sykes. So now this game is yo-yoing backwards and forwards, and Fullerton and England have another set point, 27-26. Fullerton choosing to float serve. Fraser's going to have to put a high ball out to 4 to Ramsey, who swings, but Lucas is out, so no 4-hitter. Big swing from Fullerton, but the blocking of Chauvas again saves Scotland. And we're back to 27-27. The crowd are biting their nails.
It's quite funny because we keep saying the blocking from Chauvas, but just to note, there are 2 different Chauvas brothers. They are twins, and they're both blocking through the middle, and they're both dominating.
And they're both absolutely dominating. So Mexon with the serve. Poole puts the ball in. Sykes out to 4. Speed, but it was too tight. Out to 4, but that's tight. And a net touch called from the second referee against Peters. No, he's saying it wasn't his foot over the line, but the referee didn't call that. The referee called a net touch.
What a time for England to make an error like that. Oh, this is so stressful. And we're not even on the court. So we're well into extra time now, 28-27. Scotland with the serve with yet another set point.
So, Mexon with the service line. Ah! That was the opportunity and just looked slightly nervous from the service line. And now we're back to 28-28. Jess, I'm going to need to sit down after this set.
Are they going to make it in time? Going to have a substitution for England.
We're going to get a time delay warning here, I would imagine. Scotland bench not happy with the speed of that substitute. So we've got a sub.
Yep, so we've got Lloyd Williams coming in, who's usually a middle blocker, I believe. Just to get a little bit of extra height on the net from a blocking standpoint.
So
no setter on court.
No setter on court. But Peters is now blocking at 2, I believe.
So they're going to retain that substitution just to have that extra bit of blocking power.
And it brings up set point. And who do you want from the service line if you're the England coach? Well, Ben Lucas, he doesn't miss. Ball in, Fraser pops it out to 4. No touch.
And you can see the look of despair on Ramsey's face that he made that error at that moment in time.
Wow, 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 wow. 30-28. 30, just say that again, Jess. 30-28
Yes.
to England after England were 8 points down.
The first referee just not happy that both teams had lined up on the baseline before he told them to go around the court to change ends.
Well, it's already happened, ref. Sorry, but you're too late for this one, I think.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you. Like, I understand
Protocols and...
I understand the protocol, but once they've already gone, you're best off to, and Coach Loftus lining up with the Scotland team. I think he also thinks it's a bit of a joke trying to do this. What would probably be better is
let it play.
Waiting until they line back up for the next set and just reminding the two captains that they should be lining up on the baseline at the end of the set before the referee blows the whistle.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is difficult because you want to toe, as a referee, you want to toe the line between keeping order, especially when there's a big rivalry between the squads, and maintaining that, flow of the game and not delaying things more than you really need to. I feel like that was a little bit more of a delay.
Yeah.
You don't want the players to get out of hand. You want to remind them that ultimately the first ref is the one that's in charge of all the decision making. But a little bit of a discussion between the first and second referees. I think the first referee was asking the second referee not to let the teams cross before he had allowed them to go around to the other side.
Who knows? I'm too busy thinking about the last set of volleyball to worry about a turnaround at the ends. And
what a set of volleyball.
What a set of volleyball it was, Jess.
So Scotland will be a bit disappointed in themselves that they let that 8-point lead dissolve, and they have now dropped another set. So they're 2 sets down to England. But based on the level of performance of both teams, especially later in that set, I'm expecting set number 3 to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah. Again, we haven't really seen big substitutions made from the start of a set. They've been sort of tactical substitutions during a set, blocking sub or just to slow the rhythm of a jump server down. Be interested to see if both coaches stick with their starting sixes or if they start to make some substitutions. Because just a reminder, they've played a game of volleyball already today, and they've got one more match tomorrow.
If you were the coach of either of these squads, would you be making changes right now, or would you let them stay because they're in rhythm right now?
If I was the England coach, probably not, because my team are in flow. They've just done a really good job to win the set from being down. If I was the Scottish coach, 2-0 down. Game doesn't really mean anything today because it's all about tomorrow. So I might take some people off and think about tomorrow, but again, it's like a game of poker. It looks like the Scottish coach is sticking with his guns and keeping his team as is. And I think that's the same for the England coach. Going back to their starting rotation, sticking with Max Makowski, the libero from Leeds Gorse.
Yeah, once he came on in the last set, he did retain his position. I think he did a really great job in both service receive and on defense. I mean, that one pancake, who doesn't love that?
I believe this is his first cap for England this tournament too. So
I think he's played in one of the previous matches, but this will be his first weekend of senior competition with the England squad.
Yeah, so the referee now choosing to have a word with both captains. I'm going to guess probably about the shambles of a turnaround at the end of the second set.
It is a difficult thing to be a referee. It really is. I'm a referee myself, and it can be difficult to keep control of a game, but there are times when you have to kind of pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
And he delayed the transfer between the sets and has now delayed the start of this next set as well. So it's quite disruptive to the players. And from a viewer standpoint, I know you guys are sitting at home and you're looking at the referee talking to the two captains, and it's not the most exciting thing to watch.
We're now going to see a time delay warning, or a yellow card issued to the England squad. But as a coach myself, Jess, what always frustrates me about like time delay warnings is it then delays the game even further because it's got to go on the score sheet and we have a chat to the players. And we've now given a yellow card, I believe, to Ryan Poole, and he's got to be careful.
Potentially a yellow card for dissent, do we think? Okay,
I don't know.
second referee has
Who
signaled
knows?
that we're happy to start.
Let's just get volleyball playing again. That's what I'm asking for. Let's get the game started. That's what we're all here to see. So, third set. Is it going to be a clean 3-0 win for England, or are Scotland going to show some comeback and take this third set as Fraser now puts the ball out to Hook, who tries to tip it over the arms of Ben Lucas, but Ben Lucas read that really well.
Yeah, I think, oddly enough, in that situation, Lucas actually has an advantage because Hook is trying to tip over him, but because Lucas is smaller, he's got a further reach to jump to get to that ball, so he's got time to push it back over the net.
Poole again from the service line. Hook with a great pass in. Fraser out to 4. Big ass and Mexon, but great defense from Poole. Sykes gives Fullerton the ball, and he swings high into the block of Scotland and block out, giving England 2-0.
I don't think I've seen Fullerton swing down at the ball in this entire match so far. He is swinging for that kind of like top half of the palm / the fingers of the block. And it's very smart because he's getting like weird plays off the block. So even if it is in play for the Scottish team, they're going to struggle to get to that ball.
Ryan Poole doing an excellent job at position 6 there, playing some defense as he goes back to the service line. And Fraser sticks the ball up to 4. Mexon tries to tip it, and Fullerton says, nope, not today, and shuts it down. And we've got an early timeout from Scotland, as he knows, the coach knows that he won't want his team to find themselves 5 or 6 points down so early on in this third set. So good coaching decision.
Yeah, 2 blocks and a kill for England to open up set number 3. So I am expecting that the coach just wants to talk to his guys and give them some pointers on, you know, where can we aim our attacks at. We've been blocked a couple of times now. We've got Fullerton across the net from us. He's a huge block. Lucas is a very smart player, so we've got to be smart about where we're putting the ball.
What Scotland won't want to happen is for England to win this set convincingly and sort of finishing the day on a weaker performance from the Scotland side, because you can see from the second set, you can see from the first set that these two teams are quite equally matched. Pull from the service line. Another big serve. Libero puts a perfect ball in, and middle run. And again, every time that Scotland and Fraser uses the middle, they seem to win a point. So at the moment, that's where I'd be going if I was Fraser, as Hook now goes back to the service line, 1-3. But an unforced service error again. And Jess, we mentioned this in an earlier game, but in the men's game, it's a balance. It's a real balancing act between putting in an easy serve, which gives the opposition a chance to put the ball away on the first transition, but making a mistake like that is not putting the opposition under any challenge at all.
Yeah, especially when you're a few points down, you really need to get those first couple of serves in. I think that came off of the head of Lucas. Sorry.
Big swing. Yeah, good decision by Ewan Ramsey. Deciding this time to hit the ball power cross court towards Ephraim Mills.
Yeah, I think he's just adapting to that Fullerton block and trying to hit cross court. So if England squeeze a little bit more cross court, they might open the line for him, or they might put him off.
Ryan Poole pushes the ball out to 4, and Ben Lucas has no choice but to swing high into the hands. Ryan Poole with a jump set out to Nathan Fullerton. Showboat or what? There we go.
I think that's 100% showboat going on right there, but it was definitely fun to watch.
So Fullerton can jump serve, but he also has a good float serve. What's he going to go with here? Jump serve by the looks of it. Tosses that ball so high. And Scotland trailing 3-5 in this third set. Mexon back to the service line. Again, I want to see some aggression from him. Go for it. Off the net band, Sykes puts a quick ball out to 2, but Libro with a diving dig. Free ball for England. Peters, Noah Sykes, back again to the pipe. And this time just setting the ball over the shoulder of the middle for a quick pipe attack for Ryan Poole, who is clinical and puts the ball away.
Yeah, great swing from Poole there. And a great dig as well from Darling on the Scottish side.
Ben Lucas from the service line. Another big serve. Good pass in. Fraser on the second ball. He does like that. That's 2 for Fraser now in this game.
It's a bit disappointing that Peters isn't ready for that because that's a very tight pass. Fraser's got 2 options to him. He can put his right hand up and try and get a one-handed set in, or he can put his left hand up and put the ball down. I don't think he really went with 2 hands, so I don't think Peters was quite watching his shoulders in the right way.
Great pass from the Libro. Love that pass from the Libro. From the angle where we're stood up here, he just got his platform away from his body. Passing's all about angles, and that was picture perfect from up here anyway.
Yeah, I hope somebody got a snapshot of that one because it just looked beautiful. Unfortunately, that misconnection with the middle.
Another great pass by the Libro. Ryan Poole tries to tip it, but Fraser says nope, and reads that really well. Yes, I've been super impressed by Max Makowski, the Libro, the second Libro for England, who came in one of the sets because Chester Searle just struggling a little bit with the jump serve. And he's come on court and he's just put 2 3-point passes in, but unfortunately, the offense not being clinical enough to put the ball away. Fullerton this time, and again another miss from England. Loftus just telling the setter to set it more, set it closer to the net for Fullerton. He's got a big reach, he's got, he operates at such a height that he needs the ball set in front of him. Another big serve, but another good pass by the Libro. Quicker ball out to 4 for Ryan Poole, who misses from my... No. Wow. Let me get my glasses on, because that looked out from my angle, but hey-ho.
Again, until we get Hawkeye in this specific arena, we will never know.
7-7 here. High ball out to Hook, who puts a huge swing in and asks Fullerton to play some defense, but this time Nathan not able to get the ball up. So
it's not a bad idea to aim at your backcourt opposite defensively, or to aim at position 1 regardless, right? Because either your setter is going to be there or you've got your backcourt opposite. Your backcourt opposite is almost like a middle in terms of defensive prowess, so it's a very good idea.
Well, especially in the men's game, the opposite player is your predominant hitter, right? So if you can take them out of the game on offense, then, wow, we've just seen another big block by Scotland. Apologies, we were too busy talking.
It was Chauvas again.
And Chauvas.
Shock, but this time it is Mikael Chauvas, number 3, and his brother is back at the service line.
So Scotland have done really well. They found themselves 3 or 4 points down at the start of the set. They're now leading by 2 as Sykes goes quick ball out to Poole. And the speed of that set from Sykes means that Scotland aren't really able to offer much of a block.
Yeah, you talk about the tempo of your offense, and as far as tempo goes, I mean, that ball is so fast and so flat coming out of the hands of Sykes that there's not much that the Scotland blocking can do.
Asking a lot there of Hook, passed inside. Now a quicker ball out to Ryan Poole again, but this time blocked by Scotland. Sykes flings it out to Fullerton, who puts a big swing and in.
plenty of back and forth play here. So Scotland started the set down a few points. They then went on a really strong service run with Ramsey. And now England have leveled it back up.
Sykes from the service line. So we've got 3 front row attackers for England. And Ryan Poole showing his prowess and his experience. So easy on those situations to be greedy and try and hit the ball as hard as you can. But
Yeah, Chauvas almost getting a world-class save on that with his foot.
that was a tremendous float serve, but well fought by Scotland. Free ball for England. Pipe attack for Lucas, who misses the baseline. England are definitely using that pipe ball more than the Scotland team. Last couple haven't seen success for England. They've missed a couple now from the back row. But the intention's right, the intention's good. Pipe ball is critical in the men's game. Fraser from the back line. Another good pass from the Libero. Poole hits a power shot down the line. Libero just sticks his arms up to protect his face.
That had some venom on it from Poole just then. So massive swing from him. And yeah, you said Libero just trying to protect his face. Almost got a decent dig out of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately went outside the antenna.
Poole from the service line. Again, he's been very, very effective. But this time, just as I say it, he's missed. And I think that's probably one of his first misses from the service line that I can recall.
I think he's missed one in the last set though. So, but overall has been highly effective from the baseline.
Pass from Lucas means high ball out to Lucas, and he prefers a quicker ball. But this time he shows his intelligence by taking on the hands of the Scotland block.
Yeah.
Ben Lucas, previously of the University of Nottingham, now playing his volleyball, I believe, in Denmark for ASV Elite with Ephraim Mills of England.
Who unfortunately has just put his serve long, but Mikowski comes back on. He has been excellent since coming on for Sarl.
Yeah, Ephraim Mills, Ben Lucas and Zach Hadgett all playing their volleyball in Denmark for ASV Elite now. As Fullerton gets a big swing and the Scotland block just drifting. And we'll have a look at that one again. The set was pretty wide for Fullerton and the Scotland block just drifting with him, allowing him to hit power cross court.
Yeah, I think they saw him starting to come cross court, and so they tried to lean into it and just opened up too much for them to go outside the block and still hit a cross court ball.
I'm absolutely loving this Fraser-Chauvas relationship with both the brothers.
We've got a substitution for Scotland where we're going to see Turnbull come in again.
Yeah, and this will mean that you'll see Fraser now front row, and he'll be hitting as an opposite player. Tight, overpass. Set out to 4. And Ewan Fraser leaving the ball. Would have looked rather silly if that dropped in, but he knows where he is on court, so good decision not to play the ball.
Great swing from Ramsey then to get that block out kill wide from the other end of the court.
Cole Turnbull from the service line. Strong float serve at Ryan Poole. Sykes back to Peters. And again, not seen a lot of the middle offense from England in this set, so perhaps we'll see that a little bit more. And we've got Ben Lucas back at the service line, who, again, if you remember the last set, he had 5 or 6 in a row. So this could be a pivotal moment in this set. Big serve. Big swing. And Libero deciding, probably wise at this point, to not dive into the chairs, and Hyben Lee, the stat man for England.
Yeah, probably smart. You don't want to injure yourself. 1 point isn't quite worth it. Maybe if it's match point.
Sykes out to 4. Poole has to volley the ball, and Scotland are going to roll shot from Fraser. There we go. He can set, he can hit, he can roll shot the ball like that. Is there anything he can't do?
I don't think so. He's been so prolific.
Someone's asking on the live stream, I think that's Clayton Lucas joining us on the live stream, asking what team now on a yellow card. I believe the England team were given a yellow time delay warning, but would need to just clarify that.
It might have been for dissent because I didn't see the time delay signal from the referee, but
Ben
there
Lucas
definitely
from
was.
back row. He's missed it. He's missed it again. Swinging quite flat there, swinging quite straight, and maybe, you know, taking on a bit more of an angle, that ball probably would have just clipped the baseline. But again, using the pipe ball, which Scotland haven't really used in this game. So big serve, but good pass in from Ryan Poole. Back row to Fullerton, who hits the ball powerful down the line, knocking the libero onto his backside. Nearly dropping that ball in, but good effort from the Scottish libero.
Yeah, he's had a couple of really good touches on that quite difficult swing from Fullerton. But you can only take so much off the ball in that split second.
Peters from the service line. Overhand pass by Hook. Fraser choosing to tip, but now it's free ball for Scotland. Turnbull back to Fraser, who's going to swing this time. And someone's in the net. It's Ryan Poole, holds on to it to stop him from falling down. But again, Fraser showing what he can do from the front row as a hitter.
Yeah, interesting that they're leaning so heavily on him. And, you know, you're a player as well. How tiring must it be to do setting and then come in and be a heavy-hitting opposite attacker? That's
a clever play from Noah Sykes. He likes it. I think that brings it up to 2-1 in the game of the setters tip war.
I think you're right.
Interesting, Jess. If I was a Scottish coach now, as Fraser finds himself in position 2, do they keep Turnbull on and just allow Fraser to play backcourt as a hitter? Or is he going to make the substitution again?
I would expect the substitution to be reversed.
Yep.
So, and here we go. I swear I didn't see that before I said that.
It's now a completed sub because Mexon's back on court, so they won't be able to use Fraser again really as a hitter. So they're now going to go back to their starting rotation. Ben Lucas putting in a perfect pass for Fullerton to swing. He thinks he's got a touch on the block, and the referee agrees with him this time. And I believe, 17-19. So England find themselves just 2 points down. But just a reminder, they were down a lot more in the last set. So
yeah, 8 points at one point. And the service from Ryan Poole, what a massive let-off for the Scotland side.
Referee's got the best view up there. Very difficult to call from our position up here behind the England team on the balcony at the National Volleyball Centre as we see another substitution. So Ewan Ramsey's back on court.
Yep, so that's just going to be a completion of that substitution for Scotland.
Big serve and an unusual passing mistake from Ben Lucas.
Very smart serve from Hook, just kind of going thumb down on that one to get a little bit of extra spin on it and aiming for that corner in deep position 5.
Putting it on to Ben Lucas again, but this time he chooses to take it with his hands. It's going to have to be a roll shot from Fullerton. Now Fraser puts it back to Mexon through opposite, and that is clinical from Scotland.
So Mexon's had a few rotations to just sit down, and then Fraser comes in and puts him up a perfect, really nice high set. Looks like Mexon was a bit more comfortable with that than some of the quicker ones that he was getting before.
I think the crowd here at the National Volleyball Centre want a 4th set, so are cheering on Scotland. So pipe again, Ryan Poole, but that is absolutely insane from England. The pass in was almost more towards position 4, running a quick pipe behind.
Yeah.
Just brings another dimension to the offense that we haven't seen from Scotland. So
Yeah, the way that England are stacking that up from a defensive standpoint, it's so difficult because they'll be in position for a middle attack, and then all of a sudden it's coming from the middle of the backcourt.
Good. Nathan Fullerton's going to get a free swing here. And now England back to 3. So 19-22. We probably see a timeout here from Scotland.
Yeah, just trying to slow down that momentum that England have started to gain. So we're just seeing them mostly just have a quick chat. Really probably just trying to throw the server off before they rejoin the game and come back on and try and get out of this rotation.
So, England down by 3, 19-22. Ephraim Mills from the service line puts a strong float serve. Good pass in from Scotland. Back to Mexon, who swings down the line but misses. And that's a big miss from the Scotland opposite player.
Yeah, they had an excellent opportunity out of the timeout. Exactly what the Scotland coach would have wanted, although he's giving his players a thumbs up because everything went right then and just Mexon wasn't quite able to close down that line.
Ephraim Mills again from the service line. This time, yes, Scotland. There we go. Fraser, Chauvas combination again.
Again and again. It doesn't matter which one of the Chauvas brothers is up front. Fraser and the Chauvas brothers both, they have that excellent connection. So now we've got
Chauvas.
Mikhail Chauvas is serving. He was the man of the match for their match against Ireland earlier today.
Big block and just out from the Scotland block. That was so close. As we have some substitutions now. We're going to see the double substitution from England. So, coming on for Nathan Fullerton is number 11, who I believe is James Ledbury. And number 1, coming on, Dan Sampson has replaced Noah Sykes.
Sorry.
No, we've seen it the other way around.
Yeah,
so
the other way around.
Dan Sampson coming on for Fullerton. So we're keeping a back row setter.
Yeah, so Ledbury made his England debut
we're just
last night. Oh, we've got a delay at the scoring table.
Just got a let here. I think they made... Yeah, there's some confusion on who subbed for who. And you can see the ever-experienced Martin Shakespeare on the score table just having a word with the referee. Because I think, personally, my opinion is James Ledbury actually came on for Nathan Fullerton. So I think they may... And it may be that there was an error in the input onto the tablet. So again, could be a technical error made by the coaching bench of England. But I wouldn't be surprised if James Ledbury has to go back to the service line and Dan Sampson has to... There we are, that's what we're going to see. And Dan Sampson is now the front row player. It's what I thought, that's what I saw too. The England bench not happy, and he's going to reverse the substitution, I imagine.
He can't.
He can't.
It's an improper request because a point hasn't been played since they made the substitution. I'm reasonably certain that that's the case.
They've got to play a point, yeah.
Yep. So
well, we're seeing it all, Jess, aren't we? We've seen some confusion in the turnaround. We're now seeing some confusion between the substitutions.
So England have now thrown off their own setter, who's Ledbury, who wasn't expecting to come on to serve.
So he's now serving, and we've got Dan Sampson playing front row. But you know what? Sometimes these things spur teams on. So, roll shot by Scotland. And now, Scotland have 24-21. So Simon Loftus just saying, do you know what? Stay on. Keep it as it is. We've got a front row setter. So Dan Sampson finds himself at position 4. And England have Peters and Lucas as a front court hitting option. Mexon with a jump serve. Dan Sampson comes on and tries to set a B ball to Peters, but good defense by Fraser. Hook sticks the ball up for
What a block.
for Ramsey, but he is blocked by the England triple block.
I'm expecting that block to be attributed to Peters in the end, but it could have been either of the guys up there. Massive setup.
24, 20, again, Ben Lucas from the service line. Great passing from the Scottish libero. Fraser tries to go over on 2 and is blocked by Ryan Poole. And we're back to 1. 24-23. I think Scotland have used both timeouts, and Ben Lucas is extremely experienced at this sort of play, at this sort of time in a set. So Ben Lucas from the service line. Hook with the pass. Fraser's going to have to put it out through 4. That's tight. And that's blocked out. And Scotland take the 3rd set. And we are definitely going to 4, Jess.
Very excited about that. I really think that going to 4, at least, is highly reflective of the skill of these two teams. The referee just waiting until all 6 players were fully onto the baseline before releasing them to go across the court. A bit of a kerfluffle with the England substitution there. Is it that everybody's still trying to get used to this new electronic system, or is something else going on?
I actually think it may be wrong, so we'll have to find out after the game. But to me, it looked like the sub that was put in was Ledbury for Fullerton. And that's why I was a bit confused when it happened, because you would have expected Sampson to come on for Fullerton to keep Sampson back court. So maybe there's just miscommunication between the coaching bench, maybe, who knows. But fundamentally, it did upset England's rhythm. They were behind. Scotland kept their cool, maintained their composure, and I was really impressed to see Scotland win that game. And from a neutral's perspective, if you're a neutral in the crowd, you'll want this game going to 5, and this is just a bit of a warm-up for the gold medal match tomorrow. So it will be interesting now to see what the coaches do, Jess, because we're starting to think about athlete and their energy levels, and we don't want them to get fatigued when there's a big game tomorrow. So does Loftus go, do you know what, so be it, let's take off my team and what will be will be? Or does he think, you know what, we're going to have to win this in 4, let's go 3-1. But Scotland will feel happy that they've taken this set, gives them a bit of confidence, and whatever happens with the rest of the result today, it will give them confidence that they took a set off England.
Yep, completely agree with that. I think the performances from both teams have been so high level. As a semi-neutral myself, not being originally from this country, I am just excited to watch this level of volleyball getting played at the National Volleyball Center tonight. So again, just a reminder, there is still one more match on Court 1 to follow this one. So we will have the England women versus the Scotland women. So really looking forward to that one as well. But the level of competition right now is massively exciting. And I agree with your assessment and your questions that you're asking. Are the teams going to put their full strength starting 6 back on? And it looks like the England squad is lining up that way. Or are they going to be trying to rest some of their players ahead of the gold medal match tomorrow?
Loftus might be having just a bit of a debrief of his coaching team about what happened with that sub, but you can see Martin Shakespeare down there on the score table enforcing the rules.
I'd love to see the score sheet after this one. So there's been a yellow card to Poole, potentially for dissent. I really don't think it was for a time delay. I think it was for dissent, because I think it was just something that he was saying to the referee. We've had an improper request in set number 3 where England tried to make a substitution.
And by the letter of the rule book, they should have really got a time delay warning for that improper request substitution. May need to catch up with Nick Heckford, who I can see standing on the balcony here at the National Volleyball Centre.
Yeah, it might be worth flagging him down, just asking off comms and then updating you guys with Mr. Heckford's opinion on the matter. But
we are back underway here in this match where we see England leading 2-1. as both teams back onto court. Referee's just checking with both teams. He wants to have a word. The referee's going to have a word with Ryan Poole again. And Ryan Poole's shaking his head already. They just want to play volleyball.
And can you blame them? It's such an exciting match. You just want to see what's going to happen next.
So, if you're watching on the live stream, can Scotland pull off a reverse sweep? 2-0 down. Can they get a 3-2 win here in this match? Or will we've now got a red card to, I think the red card's been awarded to the coach, to Loftus. He doesn't know what he's done, so Ryan Poole's now going to be called over again. And we are seeing some drama here in this match at the National Volleyball Centre for this Five Nations inaugural tournament. It's entertaining, that's for sure.
Yes, certainly something that you don't see every day. Interesting to see a red card right at the start of the set, so that should mean that Scotland are awarded a point.
Should be 1-0 up. Jess, I don't know if it's just me, but I just want to see the game start after such an exciting third set.
Yeah, so Scotland's going to start this match with 1 point already on the board before the first serve.
Fraser back to the service line, and we are back underway here in this third set. Ball out to Ben Lucas, who puts a huge swing. And do you know what? Sometimes a red card to a team can really just push them on.
Yeah.
So
just gonna.
It might be exactly what England needed, but here we are. Lucas now back to the service line, and we are tied at 1 apiece. So we're back to evens. Ben Lucas really going for it there. This time, not successful.
So, can they point their aggression in the right direction, or is it mentally going to throw them off and put them off their game in this match?
Good serve. Lucas puts the ball in. Poole with a roll shot, but great defense from Scotland. And it's going to be a free ball. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. He won't want to see that on a replay.
No, that's a pretty significant error there from the libero Darling for Scotland, putting that ball outside the antenna.
Ephraim Mills back to the service line, 2 apiece. Oh, we're having another conversation. Ryan Poole's being called over again by the referee. And this is... So, we're back underway. So Ephraim Mills, service line, pass in. Fraser reaches with one arm, big swing. Mexon back out to Fullerton, who just is operating at a different height. And we'll watch that one back on the replay. 1v1. Ephraim Mills from the service line, and this time another service error from England. So, 3-all, and Scotland have had a free point for the red card and 2 service errors from England.
Exactly that.
So,
England are doing it to themselves at the moment. It's a bit of a drag following the pretty awesome display of volleyball that we saw towards the end of the last set.
Back to Fullerton again. This time blocked. The referee signalling out.
First
the
referee.
Scotland coach is furious because he thinks that was in. And this time awarded out. So Nathan Fullerton back from the service line, this time choosing to jump float, putting Ramsey under pressure now. Big swing from Ramsey cross court. And Ramsey's really impressed me in this game. And you can just feel it here at 4 apiece we have got a game for you. So Mexon back to the service line. He's going to jump serve. Big jump serve, and this time missing just slightly. But again, he is a good server. He just needs to get some rhythm and maybe take a little bit off on the first one and build his way up in this set. So Ryan Poole now back to the service line. Battle of the jump servers here. Off pace, clever, but Hook's read that really well. Fraser back out to Ramsey, but this time getting his timing all wrong and swinging wild out the back of the court. So, Poole from the service line. Is he going to put something on this one, or is he going to off-pace it? I'm going to bet he's going to put his arm through it. No, he rolls into court. Fraser to Phobas, and again, winning a point. Now, I'd love to catch up with the stats guys after this game, because from my perspective, every time Fraser has gone to the Chauvas brothers in the middle, he's won a point. So, keep doing it. So, Scotland down by 1, 5-6 in this fourth set here, as Ramsey goes back to the service line and makes an unforced error. So the service errors are really creeping into this game now, but that's to be expected. Fatigue maybe just setting in and players getting a bit tired. They've already played a game today. So Peters back to the service line. Fraser putting it back out to opposite, but getting in the way and giving England a free ball. But Sykes had to take the first one, and then Poole showboating again with the setting. Hook swinging, and Loftus, Coach Simon Loftus, trying to play some defense there.
Love that from the coach. It's always good when you can see them get involved. Just to update you guys, while we've got a smidgen of time, briefly caught up with Nick Heckford from Volleyball England and just asked him what his opinion was on the stop-start nature of the game so far. And he said, ideally we would want the game to flow as much as possible, but there are times when, as a referee, you have to stop things and provide the appropriate sanctions.
Jess, let's come back to that. Let's just watch Fraser. I warned you at the start that if he gets the opportunity to swing, he will. And that's the first time we've seen it. Sorry to interrupt you as you were giving us an update. But
no, that swing absolutely warranted that interruption. Impressive play from Fraser on that point.
Ben Lucas with a swing, and Fraser just leaving his hands probably slightly too high, and Lucas just choosing to wipe off them. Really tight game here as England lead 8-7. Fraser runs a B-ball to Chauvas, but this time Sykes on the defense. Fullerton now gets an opportunity, and Fraser has to take the first ball, so Scotland out of system. And Hook tries to play it off Fullerton, but this time not successful.
Yes, that will go down as an error for the Scotland squad, with that out-of-system set not doing quite what they wanted.
Passing by Ramsey. Fraser back out to 4, but big swing from Hook cross court, and Poole just telling the libero to stay out on the perimeter of the court. Don't get sucked into the game.
Yeah, Makowski is fast enough that if he needs to react to come in and get a short ball, especially if it's a tip or a roll, he should be able to get there.
Good pass in from Makowski. Lucas on the swing, but good defense from Fraser. Scotland showing some hustle here on defense, but free ball for England. So here it comes. What's going to happen here? Pipe ball to Poole, over the top of Mills. And England just showing their creativity in their offense now.
Yeah, exactly the type of performance that you want from your captain on the court, putting that ball away really consistently today.
Lucas from the service line. Good pass in. Ramsey to Chauvas. This time some good defense. And the referee signaling a let ball. So, just a reminder that on the first contact, you can have a double touch. And that's what Paul was trying to say. Personally, it looked more like a lift than a carry ball to me, but...
Yeah, there's a little bit of leeway usually on that first touch. And if there are 2 touches on the first ball, if it's considered 1 playing action, it's usually okay. I will say, though, Paul needs to be really careful with his descent back to the referee. England have already had a red card. If they have any other elements like that, it will be another red.
So substitution. So we're seeing Ben Lucas now being taken off. I thought this might be the case because Hayden Lawson of Stockport Volleyball Club in the Men's Super League is a very, very good 4-player, and Ben Lucas just being rested maybe for tomorrow. So set to Ephraim Mills, off pace, not quite what he was expecting. Put the ball down. So will we see a few more of these coaching decisions from Loftus just to take off a couple of his key players to prepare and get ready for tomorrow? England leading 11-9 now. Ephraim Mills with another service error. The service errors from England in this set. Jess, any idea on how many we've had so far?
5. And
5 service
2
errors.
on the last 2 serves for England have both been service errors. Not the best start. They've definitely left the door open for Scotland.
Quick ball, but again, ooh. Quick ball out to 4. Paul wasn't really expecting it, I don't think, like that.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit wider than he was expecting, but again, just drawing on that experience that he's got and doing something smart with the ball.
Fullerton from the service line, choosing not to jump serve anymore and going with a float serve as Ramsey puts the ball out. Fraser, sorry, puts the ball out to Ramsey. Ramsey again, but Fullerton with some defense. Hello. And into the block of Peters and Sykes. Let's just appreciate the defense effort there from Nathan Fullerton of Mallory Eagles.
Yeah, full stretch, single arm stab. Beautiful up. It wasn't overpass, and now we've got a timeout from Scotland, but I'll just talk about that play for a moment. I can understand the desire from Ramsey to try and put a swing on that ball, but the height that it came off of Fullerton's body meant that the block had so much time to set up. And, you know, Sykes isn't the biggest blocker out there, but Peters is massive, and he had Ramsey's number all the way home. So Scotland have called a timeout, probably just trying to slow down the momentum.
Yeah, they won't want to see this lead get too far ahead of them. So 3 points. They won't want to see this. They won't want to see this lead get stretched anymore. And I wouldn't be surprised if the referee has a little word with the Scottish captain, because they were a bit slow onto the court, but this time deciding to let the game flow, which is what we all want to see. So Nathan Fullerton back to the service line. Strong float serve to Ramsey. Fraser back to Ramsey. Big swing from the Scottish outside player. He did really well there to pass and then get out into rhythm and into tempo on that 4 ball. So good job there from Ewan Ramsey.
Again, love the confidence from Fraser to go straight back out to Ramsey after he made that tactical error on the previous point.
It's another service error from Mexon. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see, we're going to see that same substitution for Scotland. So Turnbull coming in for Mexon. So Fraser will now be a front court hitter, hitting on this rotation through 4. Probably guess he's going to get the ball, if that was in.
That is a massive let-off for Scotland. Poole has been so tough from the service line.
It's not just the physical fatigue, but it's also the mental fatigue when you get to this sort of time in the day. They've already played a game, like we said this morning, but these athletes are used to sort of this level of competition. Pipe again from Poole, who chooses to roll it, but Chauvas reads the game well. Hayden Lawson with his first swing, and not quite, didn't look comfortable on that, but again, he's just come onto court, so let's give him some time.
Yeah, so that service error followed up by another error from England, letting Scotland back in. They've closed that gap to 1 point now.
Big serve from Ramsey, but he's missed it again.
So that's a couple of service errors from Scotland in the last few points.
And we're seeing a substitution. Here we go. So I did say this would happen. Loftus choosing to rest his players. Hadgett coming on now. So Zach Hadgett replacing Ephraim Mills. They both play together at ASV in Denmark.
Yeah, and Hadgett is the team captain actually for England. Poole has been the court captain up to this point.
Hayden Lawson with another big swing, and Loftus thinking, no, I need to get Lucas back on court. Perhaps wanting to rest Ben Lucas, and oh, the sub wasn't ready. So they definitely some confusion between the sub and the speed and the refereeing at this competition, but again, trying some new things, I believe. So
yeah, it is important though as players that you stand in front of that 3 meter line mark, just on the sideline, until the second referee lets you know that it's okay to go.
Big serve from Chauvas. Run in the middle. And clever from England to run the middle off that attack. Good job, Noah Sykes. And England keep a lead here.
Good first
16-14.
attack there from Hadgett.
Sykes with a good float serve. Out to Hook, who puts a big swing on it, but good defense, and Ben Lucas now gets the swing. Oh. And that's a big point. Coach Loftus applauding his team there for digging in and playing some defense and turning that into a point, as the head coach for Scotland, Alistair Jack, takes a timeout, his second timeout.
Yeah, Poole and Lucas just showing off a bit. They play in, I think they're both in Dutch League, is that right?
Ryan Poole, no, Ben Lucas, yeah.
Yes.
Ryan Poole plays out in America, I believe. Oh, or has played in America.
Yes. Yes, he was 2018 and 2019 NCAA champion with Long Beach State, so has an impressive history of volleyball performance. So between him and then Lucas, I'm sure he'll be used to those really out-of-system sets. That's got to be a hard ball to hit. It's coming over the back of his body before he can put a swing on it.
And Lucas, from a family of volleyball players, Clayton, his dad, Vanessa, his mum, both very, very good volleyball players in their time. As Ewan Fraser shows again what he can do as a hitter, and we're going to see Mexon back on. And Fraser back to the service line. So 2 point lead. It's still anybody's game, anybody's set, sorry. If Fraser can get a service run here, that's a clever serve taking out the setter. Fullerton with a big swing. Scotland with some good defense here as Fraser puts the ball back out to Hook, but the set wasn't quite right, and Lucas, I think that time, putting the ball down with a block. So Ben Lucas now from the service line. And Loftus, Coach Simon Loftus, getting slightly frustrated with his team serving. I don't blame him.
I mean, that's the 7th serving error.
7th service
So
error.
of the 16 points that Scotland currently has, 7 of those have come just from serving errors.
Poole being clever there. Oh, good hustle from the Scottish Libero. Mexon with a swing, but that's a huge block from the new player to court, Zach Hadgett. Really doing well to push his hands back into court with his block.
Yeah, immediate impact from Hadgett. He had that really smart kill a few points ago. But massive congrats to Darling for making that incredible touch.
16-19 now to England. Fraser back out to Mexon, who this time swings. and misses the sideline. But again, look really close from here. And we're going to get another card. Red card. Another red card. 2 red cards in this game. I think this was for the way Mexon threw the ball away. So that's a free point to England.
I am interested about that because not only does that give England a point, but I don't think Scotland have had a yellow card in the match.
It was straight red for the way he threw the ball away, I think. And England repay the favour by giving Scotland a free point again from the service line.
Would you like to know how many service errors were on?
Hit me.
8 for
8.
England. Which would seem to indicate that Scotland have earned themselves 9 points in this set.
So, trying to run the middle ball from off court. Fraser pops the ball back up to Mexon, who tips the ball this time. A very, very good tip. And again, such an effective play in the men's game, but not often used, as we see another substitution now, as number 10 for Scotland, Jonathan Black, replaces number 13, Cameron Hook.
So again, this potentially is just resting a player. So Cameron Hook's been highly effective for this Scottish team. But getting Black in might benefit him. So it looks like England have just called a timeout.
Yep, and again, wise coaching from the experienced Simon Loftus, just probably deciding, do you know what, I don't think he's used the timeout yet.
Now this will be his first one, so he's got 2. Might as well burn one, throw off the Scottish server.
Gives the players a chance to get a bit of water on board and have a quick chat about the next play.
Yeah, and he might be advising Mikowski as well to just have a look out for those tips, because impressive of Mexon to get a tip down in front of what is a very quick libero.
It's great to see so many people here watching at the National Volleyball Centre. And a rare mistake by the libero on the serve receive. Now brings it back to 2. And Chauvas, can he put the England passing unit under pressure again? Seeing another substitution here, so we're going to Ledbury coming on. Yeah, so we're just preparing for that double substitution. So Ledbury's coming on. So England don't have a setter on court in this rotation, and we've got a new libero on for Scotland too. So just some coaching decisions now to get some players in and rest some players. Big swing from the Scotland number 5 Mexon. And we'll now see Dan Sampson replacing Nathan Fullerton. Dan Sampson playing his volleyball at Mallory Eagles. And this is his first weekend in a senior national competition for England.
Interesting to note as well for England, they've used 5 substitutions in this set.
Big swing from Ryan Poole at a really, really important time, and he is just showing his experience. Ryan Poole from the service line, just missing.
I think that might be his 2nd service error in a row. I think he missed a serve on the last rotation, again going long. Don't know if it's something to do with this end, like visually do the 2 ends of this.
He's been so effective from the service line, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So Dan Sampson with a quick set to Ledbury, who has to tip the ball. Just clipping the sideline, and that brings up match point for England. So, Peters on the service line as we see the first match point for England. Fraser sets Mexon from the back row, and that is a huge block from the captain, Zach Hadgett, to finish the game. England winning 3-1. 25-21 here in this fourth set. What a really good game of volleyball, guys. It was great, really competitive in places. And that's just a bit of a warm-up for you for tomorrow's gold medal match, where we see both teams play again against each other. And Scotland will look to take their revenge and see if they can win against a very, very strong England side. Jess, final thoughts on the game?
Yeah, massive performance from both sides. I think England were a little bit more stable. They had a little wobble in set number 3, as we saw, where they lost 25-23, but ultimately victorious. And honestly, such a great performance from the guys. I'll be interested to see what happens tomorrow, because both teams have now played like a full-on strong starting 6. You know, they've got a lot of depth in their squad, so they do have other options, but how much will fatigue play a part in tomorrow? And just a reminder about a few things that happened in this match. So England won in 4 sets, so it was 25-18 for England in the first set, 30-28 for England in the second set, where they came back from an 8-point deficit, 25-23 for Scotland in set number 3, and then 25-21 for England in set number 4. And that 25-21 score line that England came out victorious despite 9 service errors from the guys. So in a few minutes here, we will have a quick chat with our man of the match, Ryan Poole, number 17 from England. So stay tuned if you want to hear our thoughts on that. And I might also be able to grab Nick Heckford once more just to get a few further thoughts from him on the stop-start nature of some of the actions from the first referee in that match, so that we can get some insights into, you know, what the referee might have been thinking, what issues there might have been, and I'm sure that there will be a referee debrief after this match has finished.
So just a reminder, we've still got one more game for you this evening at the National Volleyball Centre here in Kettering, as we will see the ladies play Scotland versus England. And what a game that is going to be, with both teams winning their matches, their first 2 matches of the pool. So
yeah, the next match was due to start at 6 p.m.
So we're slightly behind.
It's going to be a bit delayed. They'll need at least a half an hour to warm up. So not entirely sure what time the next match start will be, but we will let you guys know before we finish this stream, so you know what time to tune in to the next one.
And it's great to see so many comments and people watching our live stream on YouTube. Keep the support coming. And yeah, really good point that someone's made, that don't forget England have 14 players over in Luxembourg at the moment for the Novotel Cup, and you can find out how they're getting on by following the Volleyball England socials, Instagram, Facebook. We hope you enjoyed that game. For myself and Jess and the commentary team, it was definitely the game of the day so far. And I'm extremely looking forward to the ladies' turn.
It feels weird not being able to hear anything, doesn't it?
So, Ryan, first of all, congratulations on winning MVP for that game.
Oh, thank you very much.
Good play from you all round. What were you impressed with in your own game?
Personally, I actually wouldn't say it was one of my best games. I normally try to be a bit more on the positive side, a bit too many errors on my account. On situations where I've got to make the ball a bit better. But I'm quite happy. The connection with the setters is getting better every game. We don't get too much time to train, so it's great to see it start to click the pipes today. Really happy with those. We've worked on those the last few days to try and click it, and I think we're working pretty well today on it.
Yeah, something that me and my colleague Jess was saying, that's the England offense were running the pipe ball a lot, and you were getting a lot of success from there and from the service line.
Yeah, no, I think also Ben and the other outsides we have good jumpers, quite physical guys, and I think the pipe can be a really dangerous weapon that we can use when we get that pass going. I think we're passed pretty decent for the most part of the game.
Yeah.
So it kind of unlocked our offense a little bit. And yeah, it was nice to finally hit some serves. A bit too many errors on that side, which I'm not too happy about. But when it mattered, some quite nice serves, which I'm happy to help the team.
And obviously that game didn't really mean anything because you're both through to the gold medal match, but it did mean something, right?
Yeah, it always means something when you're playing Scotland. It's actually funny. I think this is the first time I've played Scotland.
Oh, really?
Scotland senior team. I've kind of missed the home nations. I've been in America when I was in university or playing abroad, so I've actually missed them. So it was nice that it actually worked out this time, and I got to play against them, and I'm looking forward to going again tomorrow against them. I think it was a nice battle today.
Yeah.
There's definitely some things we want to take and kind of level up a little bit, so I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do.
And what are those things that you'd like to see? Because obviously that third set, Scotland able to sort of just get enough over the line and win that third set. So you're disappointed that you dropped a set, or?
I think we're disappointed because it was within our control. I think Scotland, fair play, they stayed steady, but I think most of the points that we lost in that set were on our error. We were trying some nice things, running some nice tempos. It wasn't quite connecting, wasn't quite clicking. So I think we're going to look back and we're going to know, even if we had made 2 of those points and flipped them, that set, we win it. So I think we're going to for sure watch some video back on it and hopefully kind of iron out a few of those things to improve them tomorrow, definitely.
Excellent. Well, it's a great warm-up game for tomorrow, and look forward to seeing what happens tomorrow, and good luck.
No, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Oh, that's bad.